to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town. And we're here today to pronounce Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week for February 7th through February 14th, 2016 in Woodbridge Township. Joining me is 3rd Ward Councilman Corey Spiller, Councilwoman at Large Lisbeth De Jesus, and Councilwoman from the 5th Ward, Debbie Meehan. This proclamation was requested by Liz Payanessa, a Port Reading resident. Liz is the mother of 3-year-old Anthony, who attends pre-K at Port Reading School 9. Anthony was born with a rare congenital heart defect called hypoplastic left heart syndrome, HLHS. He has had 2 open heart surgeries before he was 6 months old and other procedures at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and he's scheduled for his 3rd surgery this summer. Liz is treasurer of the Congenital Heart Defect Coalition. You're also joined by Allison Zubain and her daughter Avery. Would you like to come up? Kelly Brand with her son Christopher. And both children were also born with congenital heart defects. Families of children with congenital and acquired heart disease, adults with congenital heart defects, and the professionals who work with them are joining forces to have next week, declared Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week throughout Woodbridge Township. So when one of our residents emailed me with these details and said, will you do it, we didn't take too long to think about it and say yes. So this is a resolution to you. Let me read it real quick. Sure. The well-being of Woodbridge Township children is of paramount importance. Each year, more than 40,000 babies are born with a congenital heart defect. That's pretty surprising. Yes, yeah, I never knew it was that many. Yes. And whereas the medical community has identified congenital heart defects as a leading cause of birth defect-related deaths, and whereas medical research can provide more information about the origins and symptoms of congenital heart defects, and whereas it is important that parents, pediatricians, and all those in the health profession have a greater awareness of the potential for congenital heart defects among newborns and children, and whereas Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week provides the opportunity for families and patients affected by these conditions to share their experiences and knowledge with the public so that we may all be made more aware of how this defect affects our lives. And whereas Anthony Payanessa, 3 years of age, diagnosed with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, has undergone surgical procedures to restore heart function, and now stands as the poster child and advocate for congenital heart defect awareness. Now, therefore, I, John McCormick, Mayor of the Township of Woodbridge, in concert with the Woodbridge Council, do hereby proclaim February 7th to 14th to be Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week throughout Woodbridge Township, and do further recognize Elizabeth Payanessa, resident of Port Reading and treasurer of the coalition, for her efforts to lead the campaign to bring awareness and cure to the various forms of congenital heart defects, and wish her success in all future endeavors. So, Elizabeth, maybe you could say a few words.
Sure. Thank you. Hi, thank you very much for your quick response. It was like a day, and all of a sudden, agreed to have the proclamation. Sorry. I found out 17 weeks pregnant that my son was going to be born with half of a heart that actually works, and at the time it's very scary because you don't know if they need a heart transplant or where the next steps are. But we continue to go on with our journey. He had his first surgery at a day and a half old, and yesterday was 3 years that he's actually had his first open heart surgery, and he had his second one 5 months after that. And ever since then, I've became a big advocate for children with CHD. I joined the coalition. They do walks every year, and we raise over $100,000, and a lot of it goes towards research. And, we just want to spread the word, and I'm glad that Woodbridge accepted to acknowledge this week because it is really important, and it kills most infants die from this, then cancer and everything else. And it doesn't get the recognition that it needs. So I appreciate you guys taking the time out to acknowledge this.
This is one of the easier decisions we've ever had. Anybody else, moms, want to say something?
I guess we can introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Allison, and this is my daughter Avery. Originally from Port Reading, but we now live in Aberdeen, Matawan. Okay. And I found out at about 24 weeks pregnant that my daughter had CAVC, which is complete atrial ventricular canal, basically meaning she had a hole in her heart, but she actually had 2. And then we also found out she was missing a valve, which most people have 2. So she needed quite extensive surgery. But she just had her surgery at 4 months and September 16th. And thankfully since then she's been doing excellent. She's growing. happy. She was a big hit in the ICU because she was just smiling, and I mean, thankfully, as scary as it was, it's never slowed her down, and she, is doing really well. So, and we really appreciate you recognizing this week and your efforts for bringing awareness to it, for sure.
Okay, how about you? You want to come over?
You're going to come over. Oh, so you can be on the camera. Sorry.
FaceTime here.
Sorry.
My name is Kelly Brand, and this is my son, Christopher. We have a little bit of a different story because he was not diagnosed when I was pregnant. He was born, and we thought he was completely healthy. We were released from the hospital with a clean bill of health, and we actually found out at 3 months old that he was in heart failure, even though he didn't look like it, and he was completely a normal baby, a little skinnier. That was our only real clue. We were rushed straight from the doctors to Mount Sinai Medical Center, where he stayed for 4 days, and then he had open heart surgery to correct a very rare heart defect called Al Kappa, which is basically, they told us his plumbing was wrong. So his arteries were giving his heart unclean blood as opposed to clean blood, so his heart was in heart failure. So they luckily were able to do open heart surgery, and his heart recovered because we were told he was going to need a heart transplant if the heart didn't recover, and thank goodness he had the best outcome possible, and he's completely normal. 5, almost 6-year-old now. He plays sports. He runs around with his brother. You would never know what he went through when he was just 3 months old. And just another thing I want to say is it's really, interesting. We all cheered together a long time ago, graduated high school the same year, and
wait a minute, you all went to high school
we all
together?
went to high school together. And now exactly, but that's the thing, is that it is a lot more common than you realize, and then once you go through something like this, you start to make the connections with a lot of people that you have gone through the same thing. And it's brought Liz and I back together about a couple years ago when her son was first diagnosed. I reached out to her because I saw the signs, I knew, and I said, I've been through the same thing. So then we were able to talk and relate back to each other. So it's important to I've gotten involved in the CHD Coalition. We've been involved with the American Heart Association, very involved with our hospital that treated us, just to give the support to the families. And something else that would have helped Christopher when he was in the hospital is that they've now passed a bill where children are tested with the pulse ox before they're released from the hospital.
Oh, wow.
To make you aware of any heart defects that may.
So that would have caught it sooner for him?
Yeah, because his pulse oxygen level, that's an indicator of a heart problem. His would not have been 100%, and that would have sent.
Why do you need a bill to do something so sensitive?
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds so obvious.
But it is, because of the efforts of, the parents that are kind of coming together, those kind of bills and things are getting passed, and it's making a big,
the
help.
coalition itself had a lot to do with that bill.
The coalition, the American Heart Association, there's a bunch, a lot of organizations, children organizations that are pushing for each state to do more research and pass these bills, and because it seems so simple.
Yeah, they're actually lobbying in D.C. today for funding for research to try to help cure these diseases, because really a lot of them don't have any cures, and there's temporary fixes or heart transplants, so it's tough.
Yeah.
How about you, Christopher? You want to say anything? No? How come? You're like a hero, man. You're a survivor. You're a model. You're a role model. You're an older kid, and you went through a lot, and you got these little babies coming up behind you, and they want to survive and do as well as you did. Right?
Yeah.
What grade are you?
What grade are you in, Christopher?
Kindergarten. And where do you live?
Where do we live?
Clark, New Jersey.
In Clark.
Oh, Clark, New Jersey. Okay. So what school do you go to?
What's the name of your school? I forget. Henley.
What's the name of your teacher?
Mrs. Rashford.
Do you like her? Mm-hmm. How come?
She's actually new. His teacher just
she may be watching this channel, so you better say something nice about her. No, that's okay. That's okay. All right, so anybody else want to say? We're also joined by Councilman Jim Major. Anybody in the council, I don't know what you say after all this, but that's remarkable what you're all doing. Sometimes it takes, something to happen to get people involved, and society's probably better off that you guys all got involved. So thank you very much.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on December 18, 2015. It should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilman Ficarra.
Here.
Councilman Major.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Small. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Vice President Delina and President Drum.
Here.
Madam President, can I get a motion to approve the regular minutes and work session from January 19th, 2016?
Motion.
Got a motion made and properly second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Listed as letter A this evening is you have a second reading ordinance on amendment to Chapter 7 of the revised ordinance of the Township of Woodbridge regarding handicap parking. And this is for Michael Court for a particular placard number. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Seeing no comment, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll take letters B, C, and D. These are first reading ordinances by consent. I get a motion that these three ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on February 5th, 2016, with notice of public hearing to be held on February 16th, 2016 at 7 p.m.
Motion. Second.
Any comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. You have 35 resolutions on the agenda this evening. Can I get a motion, please?
Council President, and I apologize for interrupting. Also, you, Mr. Mitch, but we would like to pull resolution number 30, not have council act on that this evening. I apologize for the very late notice. 11:59 minute.
Okay, so we still have 35 items listed. We'll pull number 30 at the request of the administration. If I can get a motion to approve the remaining items.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mitch, just for the record, I'll be abstaining on resolution number 26.
Number 26, so noted. Any other comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
If anyone has anything to say on the ordinances, please stand up. It's a public hearing. If you want to go to the microphone in the back, please go one by one, state your name and where you live, and you have 5 minutes.
Okay. Nobody looking to go to the microphone? Could I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Yeah, you can go to the microphone now if you want to speak. Your name, where you live, and you have 5 minutes.
It's a couple of things tonight, but I understand quite a few people are over here because they're not playing the snow to work. Myself, I have no complaints about it because it is everybody's fault, and I don't think it's definitely not the Woodbridge Township employees' fault or anybody else. If you see the state, county, anybody else, the same thing. But I do believe, after I talk to people that do that for a living, they do have a special training to do this kind of work. Any kind of snowstorm could be different. I don't think our people are trained just because you can sit in the truck and push the plow, that you really know what to do except to push the snow off the road. And I also blame a lot of residents because some of my neighbors, I can tell, they probably never saw snow before except on TV. Because they just got off the car, push a brake on the road, and half an hour later, the snowplow goes through. It's a mess. So maybe people should be educated, including the township employees that do the snow. And instead, people do for living, they do the summertime, that are busy, they actually go into the yards and put the dirt or gravel to tell them how to do it. But I think personally, what I saw, I don't want to just put a pressure on people, but people themselves, they create a mess more than the thing. So that's what I think. It's big snowstorm, but again, if you go 5 foot on 519, you got all the county roads, state roads, state highways, there's some problems because they do not clean the entrances or exits. Where you go from one lane to two lanes, it's supposed to make a turn to go around it. So I don't think it's the I don't want anybody to blame for it, except that you should need some education. Tell people how it's done. Yes, you know, if you got a sick person or either a fire hydrant, you go to school or something, who doesn't know whatever course and training that we do. Including the residents that do the those. That's what I'm talking about. Another thing I see over here, this is Brown, vacant storage building permits.
Are you looking at a resolution, Mr.
Yeah.
Tarek? Which one is that?
I'm your father. What I see a couple years ago, I didn't speak about it. I don't think it's enough to improve the Main Street. It's just
Are you talking about on my agenda? I have Downtown Merchants Association. Okay.
I think more than that. And I made a suggestion. I know quite a few people over the years that own the properties in Main Street. They are complaining they have to charge high rents because the taxes are high. So I told them, what would you do if the township does not raise your taxes on the property? Would you raise the tenant rent? This is no. So maybe just in case, it's a great idea to not to be so hard on them and to get us permits, except say, I'm talking about, I look very forward that somebody comes to the fire department comes to my places and they said, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'll allow it because I've got it fixed because I'm not aware of what's the nature with me. Those things should be excluded, but anything else, because this code, that code, I think it's very confusing, it costs a lot of money. But if you can, talk to the landlord, say, listen, we will not raise your taxes for X amount of years if you do not raise those people's rent. I think people, because you own a business, everybody thinks you're making money. It's not so. So that's my thing. Maybe that would work, because if you can give a breaks to a multi-billion-dollar corporations, why can't we give a little people because it is an eyesore in any town if you have a vacant stores. I remember up and down the alley where I'm at. A couple years ago, it was so depressing. You see motor voters go out. You see that all the things going out. It's very depressing because you saw there was really vibrant businesses all of a sudden they're down. And I'm sure centers in Woodbridge and Main Street, you can build a new stores, but it's the core of the township is going down. It's depressing. So if you could maybe approach them, these are special permits. Permits are permits, but again, try to make a deal with the landlord, and they would not raise the taxes if they do not raise the rent. Talk to certain people that want to open a store in Woodbridge, they say so many things they have to do, which is we can afford to go into Woodbridge. Because every time, for example, you go to shopping center, how many handicapped bathrooms they have? Right? You got Macy's, what you call it, but every store in Woodbridge, if you have to redevelop it, you have to put a handicap bathroom. I mean, my place, I got handicap bathroom. Somebody calls up and use a bathroom, sure, you're not going to say no. But you can have a 10 by 40-foot building, and you've got to put a handicap bathroom. It takes a half of the store. So certain things like that, I think, should be probably, I'm not expert at it, but I think if you can make it easier for them, it costs less money to open the business. People probably come to these places because we cannot compete with corporations which you got all over the town. And if you don't do something that's appealing, affordable, people will not, I don't care what you do, you're not going to do it.
Okay, thank you. I know that we have made some progress right here in this area in downtown Main Street with occupying the vacant buildings. We have a few new businesses that have just come in recently, and more hopefully will be coming. But your 5 minutes is up, so if you have any more ideas or if you have any more concerns.
They were brought up years ago back, and I did talk to the people, some of the festival already. They would be interested to do it. The only reason the rates are high because the taxes are high. And of course insurance, so things like that. So another thing would be over here.
Well, you have 5 minutes, Mr. Vitarak, so your 5 minutes is up.
How did the community center made up with the snowstorm?
Okay, we have to move on to the next person. You have 5 minutes, so we'll have to revisit that another time. Okay.
Ed McGuinn, Fort Reading. This resolution number 1, just explain to me what exactly are the duties of this constable for the township going to be? Because The reason I'm asking is usually a constable from where I've done where in Virginia, a constable was a police officer.
It is a police officer, I believe, right, Mr.
In this case, it's a retired police officer, but very specifically, they'll be providing an armed presence in our municipal court.
Right.
So that's what it's going to be like for court duty or something? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Diane Fairman with Woodbridge. I was here a few months ago and I just wanted to give an update on my questions at the time, my concerns. It was regarding, I live on Broad Street, so it was about, first of all, a bollard in the Broad Street school parking lot. They did come on Christmas Eve and install a bollard, so now cars can safely back into that parking space, and it's deeply appreciated. And while they were working on that, a police officer came to talk to me about the blocking my driveway. And what they did was, there was a no parking sign there. They added an additional sign that says no stopping or standing, so that I do not have to be subjected to parents playing linguistic games with me about whether or not they can stay there. And in general, and a police officer does come by, I told him the critical time is usually in the afternoon between 3 to 4, but most particularly around 3:30 when the school lets out. For the most part, they do not stop there in that spot. But when cats away, the mice will play. It does happen. But I've never had so far I haven't had a problem getting in and out myself. And the last thing is the snow plowing. With this last storm, I went out on Saturday. Now, I parked my car down at the end of my driveway so they can see somebody who lives there. And the Board of Ed people know I live there. I cleaned some of the snow around my car on Saturday, went back out on Sunday, re-cleaned it. But I found that it was very obvious that it was cleaned on the other side of the street, down to the curb, down to the street level. I could see over it. Now, and I have 2 poles at the end of my driveway, so you can see where the curb is. In the middle of the road, there was kind of lumpy, but from 7 feet from the curb out, it hadn't even been touched. And so I waited and waited, and Monday morning I called the Department of Public Works, and I said, when are you coming through to plow? Oh, we're done. So what do you mean you're done? You haven't even touched it. So they said they would send a supervisor, and someone came by from the Board of Ed in the afternoon. So finally, Monday afternoon, it was cleaned out so that I could walk out of my driveway, and because otherwise I couldn't get out or pull out my car. And I'd like to know going forward, if they're saying it's done, why isn't it being done? You know, it wasn't even touched. And the other concern I have is the municipal lot behind my house. They cleaned that several times from Saturday to Sunday, including 1:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, when I was awakened by the sound of beep, 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 beep as they kept going back and forth with the truck. And that's a little extreme. Waking me up in the middle of, you know, and they're not even working to come and clean my street, much less waking me up in the morning at 1:30 in the morning. So I'd like to know going forward. I mean, I don't even know when they came through on the other side of the street to clean it, who it was, or what time they came by to clean the street, and why my side of the street was not even touched. There was no cars parked on the street. I know that was an issue with a lot of streets where they couldn't get around cars, which was a little surprising to me that cars were even left on the streets, but that was not an issue on my street.
We are taking all the scenarios and all the situations that occurred because it was a very, very large storm, and we're looking at all those issues and moving forward.
Yeah, like I said, as I was here, I mean, this issue is an issue that has been going on for decades, and it's never been resolved in front of my property. And yes, it's fine and good to say we had a big storm, so I'm asking, going forward, how is this going to be addressed? Because I have a disability, I'm also a senior, and what it takes me 2 hours to do, it would take them 15 minutes to do. And I shouldn't even be plowing this, I shouldn't even be shoveling the street. That's a challenge for me to go, where do I put it, since we're not supposed to be shoveling on the street?
We have emergencies that occur during large snowstorms, and it's not like they're avoiding you, I'm sure. We're out, we're working really hard, and we're trying to get to everybody that we can get to.
Okay, then I would say to the Department of Public Works, when we call on Monday morning, because it hasn't been done, the last thing we should be hearing is, but we're done, when they're not.
Okay.
And there are vehicles in the neighborhood, as I said. And I was talking to someone else, and the concern is, in the case of our senior citizens, is there any program in this township, a volunteer program, to help seniors with their shoveling, especially in the case of a storm like this?
We're in the process of trying to put a registry together. We've done it in the past, and we're going to try to use some of our advances in technology to make that happen. We've met on a couple of times over the past couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to roll something out in the relatively near future.
How do you foresee coordinating that? Because again, this storm was on the weekend. Who do you call? Is anybody manning? I didn't even think to try the Department of Public Works. I assumed they were closed.
I'm sure you can imagine, Council President, there's a lot of issues with trying to marry up volunteers with people, especially in a storm of that magnitude.
Well, I'm a council person here in my ward, and I receive calls as well. So if in the event that happens in the future, I'm your councilwoman. You can call me, and I can get the word out to.
How do we get your phone?
I can give it to you. I have my card on me.
Okay.
So if you want to come up and get it, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I'll see you at the meeting. Thank you.
Good evening to everybody. I'm from McGuinn, Fort Reading. I just want to say, yes, it's a bad storm. We've had bad storms before, but I wish there could have been a better job. Too bad it took a letter to the mayor and pictures. But after talked to a couple of people, we got the job done and everything. Because again, just like this, I concur with this woman that, yes, we do have some older people there that really need access to their house. What we don't like is when certain people on our street get the workers to do their house. That's not right. That's not fair to the rest of us that are busting our butts to do the sidewalks and the curbs. I have pictures going back at least 4 years that have been 4 feet from the curb. Now the mayor says curb to curb. I know you can't always do that, okay? I'm being reasonable here. However, at all way possible, especially when you have a lot of land like the house next door to us, you can pile all that snow you want up on their grass. They don't care. It's family property because it creates such a hazard. Not only in the road, we were pushing people. Councilman Spiller saw what a horrendous condition it was in the road. We were pushing a car physically ourselves up and around the corner because we had to do the whole length of the block because it was so bad. Just there was no salt, there was no sand. The guy that did throw a little, did the guy down the street on the first house while we were all watching. And some people don't want to come forward because they don't want any retribution. So I'm not going to name names or anything, but please make sure if you do their house, and I can tell you on the QT who these people are, that you do the rest of ours. Because we pay taxes too, and I'm not going to get into that on my soapbox, but they're no better than we are. All right? So we just want to work together with everybody, okay? I won't berate Councilman Spiller or no nothing, because we all got to work together. We're all in the same boat, okay? I thank you for your time.
Any other
Anybody
comments
else?
from the public?
Council President, if I could just
Sure.
comment to that, and it's a point well made. We do have an employee that we have an internal investigation that's proceeding, and although I won't go into the details because it's a disciplinary issue, I do anticipate that disciplinary action will be taken in that matter.
Again, seeing no other comment, can I get a motion that the public portion of the meeting be closed? Motion. Second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? You can go into the agenda.
We'll go into the agenda portion of the meeting. I will start on my agenda number 2, Relay for Life. Their kickoff event was hosted by Miller's Ale House last week. It was a success. Thank you to Woodbridge Relay team for all of their efforts, and Rob, the manager of Miller's Ale House, for hosting this community cause-related event. The Relay for Life will be at Woodbridge High School on June 4th. If you're interested, you could see the website. Number 4, new business. There's a new business on Main Street called Driven Gym. It's right next to, it's a mixed martial arts studio. It just opened recently, like a week ago. It's located in the heart of town, next to Max Fitness. Stop by and welcome them. There was a grand reopening of Pole to Pole Fitness Center, also located on Main Street. Now, it had been previously located on Pearl Street, but they grew their business, so they needed a larger location, so they occupied Bernie's Bike Shop over there on Main Street. So we wish her more success here in Woodbridge. Number 14, the Woodbridge Artisan Guild had a new exhibit celebration last week. The new exhibit was themed community, and there are many beautiful art pieces created, painted, and sculpted from our local artists, each piece depicting community. Stop by and visit our art gallery downtown on Main Street in Woodbridge. And a thank you to Paul and Tina, the owners of Mulberry Street Restaurant that supplied a variety of snacks, and Leslie and Joe from Professional Music Academy here in Woodbridge for entertaining all of our guests by playing the piano while we had the celebration. Number 17, Buy Local. I would suggest downloading the free Buy Local app to get all the latest township information on sports, events, business directories, discounts from local businesses, parking, emergency services, and so much more. You can go on to you can download it free by going to the website, or you can email Casey, who's a township employee in the mayor's office, and his email is buylocalapp@twp.woodbridge.nj.us. Number 19, the Chamber of Commerce hosted the State of the Township. It was held last Tuesday at the Renaissance. It was very well attended. The mayor's speech, along with the video presentation, was stellar. You can find it on the Woodbridge Township website at twp.woodbridge.nj.us. The Women's Leadership Connection Committee from the Chamber of Commerce is presenting a networking event on February 25th at Colonia Country Club. Valerie Montecalvo, the president of Bayshore Recycling, will be the speaker. If you're interested in attending, you can contact the Chamber at 732-636-4040. And I have two announcements. One, the Woodbridge Knights of Columbus is having their annual fish fry on Ash Wednesday, February 10th, from 4:30 to 7. And the Woodbridge Elks 2116 is having an all-you-can-eat Thanksgiving in February dinner to be held on Sunday, February 28th, from 3 to 6 p.m. It's open to the public. It's $12 for adults, $6 for children 5 to 10 years old, and for children under 5, it's free. Councilman Deline is not here. We'll go to Councilman Major.
How about Councilman Anderson?
No, Anderson. Sorry, Councilman Anderson. Why do I always skip you?
That's all right.
No, I'm sorry. Councilman
People
Anderson.
like to hear my agenda, too. I'd like to hold on item number 1. I will go into our job bank for item number 2. As I've advertised over the last few months, BASF has several positions in technology, many administrative positions that are available. If you're out of work right now, please look into our website for our local opportunities and opportunities in the surrounding neighborhood. We also have Yugo Incorporated, which is located on U.S. Highway number 1, and that is in Avenel. Buffalo Wild Wings, Lowe's, Boscov's, Burlington Coat Factory, Middlesex County Workforce is also listed on our website with several opportunities there, as is Bayshore Recycling. Please check this website. Please submit your resumes in here first. They are looking for Woodbridge Township residents. If you're out of work, this is how you get back in the workforce. Okay, and if you are able to find work, please, or if you're not able to find work, please send us a letter or a notification if there's anything that you'd like to see changed about the site. We appreciate your input. Okay. For item number 3, we're going to hold. Mayor's Trophy. Would like to ask everyone to submit their rosters for all of the basketball and boys and girls on both sides to make sure that their rosters are in and that all Woodbridge Township residents are participating on your roster for this upcoming Mayor's Trophy tournament. We're going to hold on item 7, hold on 8, and hold on 9. We'll go down to the Independent Club of Colonia. We'll be hosting their Black History Month event on February 28th at the Evergreen Center. There will be spoken word, there will be song, historical recitals. It's a great time. It's a free event, and we ask that you come out. It's Sunday, February 28th at the Evergreen Center. Finally, the tooling around the township is fast approaching. It's on April 30th. There are volunteers and sponsors that are needed, sponsors that can sponsor items such as paint, roofing, material, volunteers themselves to come out and help yard cleanups, so forth. So if you are interested, or if you know of a home that is in need of repair and someone that meets the qualifications, it's 732-602-6015. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Major?
Thank you, Council President. Item number 6 on my agenda is Sustainable Woodbridge. The Township has partnered with a provider to do free home energy assessments. This is absolutely free to the homeowner. It's part of the BPU social benefits, part of your gas and electric bill. So take advantage of that. You can go to the Woodbridge Township website, the Sustainable Woodbridge, and click on that for more information. A couple announcements this evening. At Robert Masenic School on February 11th, during the school day, they're having a charity event, and it is to benefit a family in Island that lost their home to a fire. One of the members of the family is 86 years old. They've been in their house for quite a number of years, and they're absolutely devastated. Any donations could be brought to the school that day. They're having a pajama party at the school for the students, and everybody is invited. Again, it's the Robert Masenic School, and it's on February 11th. I'd like to also congratulate the Island Giants athletes, the football team and the cheer team, and also Kyle Anderson, the president. Very successful season, and they had their awards event this Sunday at the Pines. Great event. A lot of parents are out there, but once again, the program is successful because of the skills that are taught and all the cooperation of everyone, from the coaches and the parents right on through to the kids. Again, congratulations. And that's all I have this evening, Council President.
Councilman Ficarra?
Thank you, Council President. I have a few things. Starting out with my item number 1 on the agenda, the Woodbridge Community Center puts out a program book that's out and about town, and it explains all of the programs from youth, from actually pre-K all the way up to seniors. I highly suggest the easiest thing to do is to look on their website, which is www.njwcc.com, New Jersey Woodbridge Community Center.com. Just as an example, there are 6 dates that are coming up. It's National Kids Night Out, and the next date is February 20th. It's a theme night. That night happens to be Pajama Party, which is a coincidence. But there's access to swimming, and there's food served, there's skating, there's a minimal price. But it's a good opportunity if you're not a member or if you have not been at our community center to get a little flavor for what goes on. Likewise, and not that I expect anybody to see this, but each of our senior centers, both Evergreen in Colonia and Sycamore in Port Reading, have monthly calendars with activities every single day. They're up on the Township website. They're too numerous to, it's just mind-boggling to me what goes on there every day. I happened to go over there to attend an event over the holidays. Councilman Spiller, you were with me, and there was nearly 200 seniors there. So, and I think more can go. So my point is, there's a lot of valuable information on the Township website, on the Community Center website. There's activities going on every day regardless of where you are in life. Items 2 and 3, Youth Month and Senior Month. Specifically, those are months, April being Youth Month and May being Senior Month, where there's a concentration of activities going on for that population. In particular, in Youth Month, we actually start in March because this year, because of the calendar, the schools are off towards the end of March when the holidays. So there's actually activities, again, going on each day, special activities. We talk about big wheels where there's an opportunity for kids to go and crawl around heavy apparatus and trucks and have some fun with it. That's a great day. On March the 30th is our tentative date, but all of this will be coming out a little bit further. My item number 5, Mayor's Wellness and Fitness Committee. I mentioned the date of March the 9th, where Mayor McCormick will be challenging students at our high school in a healthy cook-off at Wegmans. There'll be a little bit more information to follow. And finally, I would just like to briefly read, I normally don't like to do this, many of the council folks are wearing red if it's not visible. We all have wristbands because it is February is National American Heart Month. President Obama actually declared February as American Heart Month. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women, taking the life of 1 in 3 women each year. This means women are dying at a rate of 1 per minute. It simply does not have to be that way. Go Red for Women is an American Heart Association national call for women, by women, to take charge of their health, live stronger, healthier lives. What began as a grassroots awareness campaign has quickly grown into a movement involving millions of women, men, celebrities, healthcare providers, and folks like us up here at the dais. Across America, the red dress and color are becoming instantly recognized as a symbol of women's empowerment to improve their heart health. Going red is more than just a fashion statement. The Regional Chronic Disease Coalition of Middlesex and Union County would like to encourage you to visit your doctor regularly, learn about your cholesterol, your blood pressure numbers, and take action to safeguard your own and your family's health. You can go to goredforwomen.org to get more information, and technically February 5th is the Go Red actual day. So if you don't have red on today, you can go for that. But it's more than just a symbol. It's actually a statement and a way of life. So thank you for allowing me to read that, Council President, and that is all for me.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan?
Thank you. I just have 3 items on my agenda tonight that I'd like to bring up. We are in the middle of our Have a Heart 2016 food drive, where we're asking residents of Woodbridge Township to take the challenge of either donating $214 or 214 pounds of food. We will be collecting that through February 14th. And tied in with that, the Cloney businesses are hosting an event this Friday night from 6 to 9 o'clock at the Cloney Country Club. It's the Taste of Cloney, where local restaurants will be there. You can go and sample their foods. The tickets are $30 a ticket. Joe Canals will be there. You can sample their wines. And we also ask you to bring a can of food. Everything we make this evening will be donated to the food banks, and the food will also be brought over to there afterwards. And lastly, I just have Colonia VFW, Post 6061 on Inman Avenue will be having their fish fry this Friday. It's at 5:30 to 8:30. And you can go there. It's $15 per person and $8 per child. If you are interested in buying tickets, you can either just go, or you can call 732-574-9783. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman De Jesus, happy birthday.
Thank you. I have 2 items on my agenda. Number 6, our police community relations. On Tuesday, February 9th, Detective Slosberg and Detective Sino and other members of our police department will be giving a tour of the police department to 2 Cub Scouts groups that are earning their badges. They will also be starting this month the Community Affairs Division, which includes Detective Slosberg and Detective Sino, will be making an effort to get to each elementary school in our township on a schedule to interact with students by reading to them in their classrooms. The books that they will be reading will be provided by the teachers, and they plan to spend 30 to 40 minutes in the classroom. And I personally think this is very important because it will improve how our children view our police officers, and they will have interaction with our police officers and learn more about what they do and see them as people and not just as someone in a uniform. So I would like to congratulate our police department in putting this program together. And item number 10 on my agenda, Barron Arts Center. On February 12th from 6 to 8, they will present All Seasons chamber players. They will feature works by favorite Baroque composers, and reservation is a must. You must call 732-634-0413, and there is a suggested donation of $5. And again, on February 18th at 7 p.m., they will host a lecture on the African influence in foods. They will have food historian Judith Kral Russo, and reservations again are required. And please call 732-634-0413. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller?
Thank you, Council President. Item on my agenda. Last meeting, I made mention that Avenel Community Day this year is May 21st, and I briefly touched on this year's Grand Marshal, Steve Terabetsky. Well, it's my honor tonight to announce that this year's Deputy Grand Marshal is the Avenel VFW organization. It's befitting as this year's Avenel Community Day falls on Armed Service Day. The Avenel VFW, under the leadership of Post Commander Jerry Malone, is very active in the township, especially in Avenel, constantly helping out and reaching out to our veterans. Item number 2, I'm happy to report the ground has been broken with sewer and other utilities being installed at the Arts Village, as well as the Big Top property, which is under my agenda item number 9. Item number 3, I'd just like to talk about briefly the work that's being done on the Woodbridge River, especially in the area of Ideal Mobile Home Community. For years we had flooding issues, and DPW has been working really hard back there. The reason why I bring it up, a couple residents had asked me about it. So we've been dredging again, and I wish I could show you the pictures, because the pictures are phenomenal, the before to the after, from a helicopter view of what the river actually should look like, and it's really going to decrease the level of flooding. We had to, I'm not dredging, but the township had to stop for the winter, but once it gets going, it's my understanding we're going to try to go all the way through the Butterfly Garden and possibly up to Thayer Avenue, which will really help out and decrease the flooding in that area. So nice work. Item number 3, that was Woodbridge River Watch. Item number 4, like Councilman Major said with the Island Giants, I went to the Port Reading Saints banquet. Congratulations to all the young football players and cheerleaders. It was a nice time. They had a fantastic spread. And what I said at the meeting, at the banquet, was, the players work really hard, the ages, but who I want to commend are the parents. We pretty much know all rec leagues. They start August 1st, go through September, October. Cheers sometimes go through December, but it's the parents that are working, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, racing home, stopping somewhere for a quick bite, getting those kids there. So I just want to give a little shout out to them. Item number 6, if we can just hold it up, if you could just pan in on it, so you can get some information, and I think the flyer is kind of neat looking. Councilman Ficarra discussed the Sycamore Center. The calendar is on the website, but I wanted to bring this specific one up. It's the Valentine's Day Fabulous 50s Senior Luncheon, which is next Wednesday, February 10th from noon to 3. For information, you can contact Naveen at 732-726-7087. A couple of us have been in some of their events, and those seniors know how to rock and roll. They know how to party. It's a great atmosphere there. So the more people that know about it, the more people that can show up, the better.
I'm getting in trouble because you're going to see your mother, and I'm not going to see mine, Councilman Spiller. So I guess I'll be there on February 10th.
I'll say hi to Sophie. That's item number 6. Hold all other items, please, Mr. Mitch.
Okay, so I understand in Councilman Small's absence, you have a few agenda items to report on?
Yes. Councilman Small is slowly recovering. He wanted to bring up that the Township Youth Hockey sign-ups will be coming out. He was not able to get the exact dates and times, so I said that I'll just put it out that it's going to be happening. Okay. Check the website, and but definitely by the next meeting, he'll have the dates and times.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Mr. Mitch?
Thank you, Madam President. Under number 1, letters A through D are still working on with the police department as we move them along. Number 2, you have a hearing scheduled for next week. I'm happy to report that we're probably going to propose to you a suspension of 30 days of a liquor license, so you probably will not have that meeting next week. I guess you'll either settle it next Tuesday or we'll adjourn it to another day till we get a settlement signed. Mr. Mr. Lang, Mr. Sherb, and he
Spoke with Councilman Vaccaro on that, so
we'll be hoping to get that before you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are standard. Number 9, you have one item listed for a waiver of a road opening moratorium for 3 Ronson LLC. And I also, late this afternoon, my office forwarded you another request on Lockwood Avenue in Woodbridge. I had them send it to you today, so you can take a look at it between now and the next 2 weeks and have a resolution for that. Back on the one just prior, though, I'll have more detail within the next couple of days in your packets as to the whole plan. Councilman Major had asked for more detail. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Landolfi?
Thank you, Council President. Relatively light agenda this evening. The only item I have is that we're going to ask Council to proceed with some in-rem tax foreclosures. These are properties where the municipality where we currently hold the tax lien would be asking you to authorize us to proceed with the foreclosure process.
Director Hubner?
Thank you, Council President. I have a proposal to eliminate a number of handicapped parking spaces throughout the township that are no longer in use. That's it. Thank you.
Director Green?
Thank you, Council President. I have a couple items tonight. The first two are our annual donations to St. Joseph's Home and the Jewish Family and Vocational Services. The next item is our annual donations to the Senior Citizen Clubs of Woodbridge Township. And then the last but not least is our shared service agreement with the Township of East Brunswick, and that's for shelter services, and that's a short-term 3-month agreement. Thank you, Council President.
Director Smoka?
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Council President.
Director Lexie?
Thank you, Council President. In addition to our standard biweekly refund resolutions, we'll also have a resolution for a redevelopment study. Thank you.
Director Henry?
Thank you, Council President. We just have 2 bond releases tonight. Thank you.
Motion.